No, don't fall.
Somebody go all the way
Yeah.
down.
Mercy'd have to catch you.
That wouldn't happen, but I'd give it my best shot. All right, I will call the Village of Mount Sterling Council meeting for October 23rd, 2023 to order with roll call, please.
David,
Here.
Bill,
Here.
Joyce,
Here.
Becky,
Here.
Ross,
Here.
Andy,
Here.
all's present.
Thanks, Mom.
Well, no, I think I was like daydreaming.
Okay. David, could we have you do a prayer, and could you also include in your prayer, prayers for George and his family, and Misty, and glad that she's back, please.
Lord, remember the families that our mayor has mentioned and touch them with their hand tonight, Jesus, with your healing hand, and be with them tonight and comfort them, Lord. And Lord, be with our village tonight, our law enforcement, and for all the people here, and be with our great country, Lord, and touch them and be with everything we need. In Jesus' wonderful, wonderful name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. At this time, I'll ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from a council meeting held on October 9th, 2023.
Have that motion.
Okay, is there a second, please?
Second. Did you second it?
Okay,
I did.
yep.
Roll call?
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce, Becky,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Okay. Mayor's report, I've just got a couple things. We're not going to have a meeting until after election, so I would like to wish all the candidates good luck. It's an honor to serve the Village of Mount Sterling, and I wish you all the best and best for the village. And with that note, I did get a letter from Frank LaRose, the Secretary of State. If you have any questions about the voting for this year, you can go to voteohio.gov, and that should answer most of your questions. So I wanted to bring that up for you. I think that's probably all for right now. President Pro Tem, Andy.
Yeah, given that we have a significant number of folks here tonight, I'm going to go ahead and hold my main comments until finance, and we'll allow some time for folks.
Okay, very good. So public comments, we have this evening a Chuck McKenzie, 48 West Columbus Street, wanting to discuss street parking in front of Two Hands Coffee. So, Mr. McKenzie, if you would like to come up to one of the microphones, and know that we do a 3-minute timing for.
3 minutes.
Yes, please.
Bear with me, this is the first experience in something like this. Me and my wife have been part of the village as far as a business-wise for 5.5 years now, and I grew up, I've lived in the house I lived in every year, but my 2 years of my life just about 5 miles out of town. So I've been a part of Mount Sterling in some way or another. I've known about it. So kids for school bus for Madison Plains, love them very much. We've talked about the parking. My understanding is, even before we had that business, on the West Columbus side, there was 2 parking spots that was designated for business. There was a post that was put there, but there's never been no signs put up. And I know that's an issue. And I don't want to take up all the spots either. I understand there's apartments there, and there's people we serve, and we want to be a part of their. Some of them have some rough family lives growing up, and that's what we're there for. We want to be a part of that, and then even just to give a smile to them, and even minister to them and whatever we can. But my thought was, I've been thinking about that, and I know it's a rough intersection, even in being a bus driver, going through there and watching things happen. I understand. I know you guys have talked about maybe shutting one of those down. But I've been thinking if there's another way we can do this, possibly is if you just make the one parking spot on West Columbus right there on the corner, 15-minute parking, business only, period. And in the evening time, there's no parking there at all. It still will maybe help alleviate the problem of turning right there and going either way, north or south. The other part of this is, I've been there 5 years and drive bus, and it's one of those streets you just never catch. I believe that's North Market right there. That's right, North Market. so it breaks up. If we would even just make that 15-minute mark parking or 2-hour parking and business parking for a set time, 5 o'clock to 2 o'clock or whatever it is, because that's when we know, that's the latest we stay there, is on Saturdays. But yet then allow it to be open for the apartments. It's right there where they can park there in the evening and have that space. That's an option. That spot is not a problem, in my opinion. Not that I'm an experienced lawman or whatever, but as many times I've been through their bus and everything else, that spot right there on Market Street is not the problem. Your problem of turning out of there is on West Columbus. And if we could keep that to 15-minute parking, get people in and out of there all the time, it's not always going to be there. There's days we're running slow anyway, so there's not really, there'll be times where there may be 2, 3, a couple, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes where there's nobody parking there. And you'll still allow that to happen, be able to see a lot better going down that way, right or left. And then just leave it as business pure only, and nobody's allowed to park there in the evening. That way it saves. And so I'm trying to preserve, at least getting us a couple spots there, but I understand there's a problem there with that stop sign. I do. I've driven it, again, with bus and everything else, and it is a pain in the butt sometimes, especially when you got a big truck that decides to pull up there with a cab or whatever on it. So that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, but that's what I've kind of thought about. But again, the one on Market Street, I don't think that's a problem.
Okay.
And
We
so-
will take this all under advisement, and we do
That's
have
cool.
a piece of possible, we're talking about later in the meeting, so we'll see. We appreciate your comments.
No
though.
problem. I appreciate it. Thank you for
you.
listening.
Thanks for coming.
Was there any other people that wanted to discuss anything public? Okay. That will take us to executive session. We have none. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Tom Hale, and he will be conducting hearing for ordinance 2023-09.
Tonight, we're gonna have a public hearing in a little different format than maybe what you've been used to. And I'll serve 2 roles. One, I'll help facilitate your hearing, and 2, I'm also your planning staff to answer any questions about the applicants made to us.
We can't hear you.
That won't
Hey, that ain't gonna help. That only
It'll
goes
help in the
on.
recording, though.
Closer?
Yeah, he can.
Yeah,
Can you move up closer?
Come up here with me. Oh, my goodness.
All right, let's try that again.
Okay, to
Okay.
facilitate,
Okay, I'm sorry?
you said to facilitate,
Yeah, I'll facilitate the meeting, and also I'll be the planning staff for the questions for the case. I'm gonna explain how the public hearing process will work. First, Courtney, let's call the meeting to order, and that, whatever time we have, 7
There you
or
go.
9. And then, would you please take a roll call for the hearing?
yep. David,
Yes.
Bill,
Here.
Here, yeah.
I gotcha. Bill, you said you were here.
I'm here, yeah.
Joyce,
Here.
Becky,
Here.
Ross,
Here.
Andy.
Here.
All's present.
Okay, any cell phones or pagers for tonight's hearing? If you'll turn them down or turn them off, please. And are there any abstentions for this particular meeting? Okay, good. All right, the public hearing process. I will explain the case to council, and after that, we will have we'll have the applicant come and speak. The applicant will present their case. They will have the 3 minutes. At that time, after the applicant's finished, anyone that wants to speak for the case may speak. After that, anyone that speaks against the case may speak. The applicant then has a option to respond to any of the comments that were made. At that point, after those comments were made, we close the public portion of the hearing. Council then will deliberate after the hearing. You will not vote at that time,
Okay.
We have a 3rd reading that has to be done. After the 3rd reading, somebody from council will make a motion to bring the case up, and a second, and then you will deliberate the case and vote at that time if you so wish, okay? All right, any questions? Okay. It was case 2023-09. It's a request to rezone a previous subdivision that was approved many years ago on down Jedwin Drive behind the shopping center. It was zoned, and then we rezoned it a few years back in the wide zoning that we did on the village wide. So it was sent back to an R1 district because it had never been developed, and so it had expired. The request now is to rezone it to R3. R3 district changes the density and the size of the lots, still allows for single-family homes. Any questions from council? No? Okay. Is the applicant here? Applicant's not here. Is there anyone here to speak for the case, on behalf of the case? All right. Would you give us your name, please?
Would you please, please
Okay.
come to the microphone as we need to hear, the public needs to hear.
Also, I'm gonna swear you in. Swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
So,
Your name?
I'm Jacob Keever.
Okay.
I live at 559 Wingate Place, which this is gonna be behind my house. And I am for it, but I have some concerns, and some of those concerns are when Miranda built, they had flooding issues. When Arbor built, our flooding issues caused Miranda to have worse flooding issues, and we have really bad grading amongst the lots. So I guess my concern is making sure that whoever develops this land behind us develops it so that it doesn't affect any of us surrounding the area. Also a concern is the house that's in, basically Jesuit's been their driveway for 50 years. And now they're gonna have to drive through a construction zone while they get that road up to snuff to be a subdivision road with drainage and stuff. And how are they gonna be accommodated?
Those questions are for council,
Yeah.
not for me.
So that's my concerns. But other than that, I'm for the measure. I think it's great that we're expanding. I think it's going to do great things. And I'm going to just yield my time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else who wishes to speak in favor of the rezoning? At this time, is there anyone that would like to speak against the rezoning? Okay, sir.
Can you please come up to the microphone and state your name?
Leave your microphone there.
My problem with this whole thing,
Sir, can you please state your name and your address, please?
Marvin Baker, 309, 309 Magosa Court.
And your first name again, what was it?
Marvin Baker.
Marvin Baker.
And he needs to swear you in.
You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the whole, so help you God.
So help me.
Thank you.
My problem is what about our sewage system? Is this going to deal with have enough sewer lines, or are we going to have to rebuild the sewer plant, so that all these houses being built has got a place to go to the bathroom? I mean, that plant over there is how old? Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is rebuild it. Who's going to have to pay the price on that? The people in the community. He'll have his money and going down the street with it. And I don't think it's right. On that part of it. Now, the rest of it, I think we need to build a school back there to the kids. So they got a place to go to school. They're on a bus 2 or 3 hours a day. We don't need more houses. We need a school. We don't even have a grocery store. What What are we gonna do for groceries? I mean, you know, let's clear this up. It's what's going on before we dive into building more houses. How old is that sewage system back there?
I don't have that information, sir.
Well, who does?
Well, your street, water, sewer department, others in the village. I'm just the zoning administrator.
Well, you know, that's fine, but that's fine to have more houses. You can get more taxes, but on the other hand, who's gonna eat the bill for a new sewage system when it's over flooded?
Understand?
Can I
Marvin,
respond?
that was updated in 2009.
Thank you.
And I can get you some information on capacity right now, but I think right now we're doing quite well capacity-wise.
Now, but we put more houses on it, what are we gonna do?
I'd have to get that information.
Yeah,
Those
see,
calculations for
we
you.
don't know that.
Thank
This
you.
is what my problem is, you know, am I gonna get stuck with the bill? Yep. Is he gonna get stuck with the bill? Nope, he's gonna go down the road with his money in his pocket.
Mr. Baker, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak against the case?
My name is Lori Wobig.
Hi, Lori. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Here you go.
Would
Uh,
you
my-
give her your address, please?
Oh, 15775 Jedwin Drive. My husband and I was hoping he would speak instead of me, but he had to take a work phone call, unfortunately. We live on the home on Jedwin Drive, and we have faced, we understand that Mount Sterling needs to grow in population. We also understand that we need a grocery store for sure. Now, when the other housing development went in, that changed from a farm field, right away, we needed to build an extremely high fence to protect from trash going over in our yard and through our woods, animals, and people walking through. We also increased our security and cameras around because we still have people coming on our property, even though we have signs that say no trespassing. We catch people on cameras, in cars, walking, going to go fishing, hunting in the woods, and there is a great concern because if they get hurt on our property or if my husband's out hunting, which he's allowed to do in the country, if someone's out there, they could get hurt. The other problems that we had with the housing development, which we will find that when we have the new one, is the flooding. We own the culvert right there, and it's a very small culvert. And the previous owners, the previous owner that purchased part of the lot on Jedwin Drive, when he was going to build, we had to negotiate with him, and we said, that culvert is not gonna handle all the water flow from building, just digging up that dirt at first, even before the homes go in. And so our driveway right there would be flooded. Plus, we don't like the idea of all the water coming through our property. We wonder what the drainage system will be, it will be in place. Also under Jedwin Drive, there is the telephone. Is it telephone and anything else?
No, it's just the telephone line, which actually runs our DSL internet. That's the only internet we have. So it's basically our security system. It runs all the way up underground up Jedwin Drive.
So, and we don't know our, access into our property, out of our property, what that would look like. There's a lot of questions we have before we say, oh yeah, go ahead, build homes. We understand it needs to grow, but again, kind of stuck right there. And the other properties, like I said, we figured that out. But when it's right in front, and that's the only way we've gone in and out, that causes a lot of questions, unanswered questions.
Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to speak against?
Yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit more to it. Sorry, I'm on call and I had a phone call.
Okay. Would you,
Yeah.
state your name, please?
I'm Charles Wolbig, live at 15775 Jedwin Drive. I do.
Thank you.
Yes. My big concern is, yeah, the phone line for sure, we have to have some type of security surveillance. Because she's right, we have people going down into our property a lot. I've got it on tape, I've got it on cameras. So I want to make sure that stays running. I also, because I use a car going back and forth to work, I work up in Columbus, we're going to have some means more than just dirt, mud, a minimum of gravel at all times. When the property, which would have been west of us, was put in, you know, I seen all that dug up, you know, 10, 15, 20 feet deep to run all your water lines, sewer lines, gas lines. Isn't that where that Jedwin Drive's gonna be? How are we gonna get in and out of there to go to work? Just a lot of concerns. I know it's gonna happen, but just a lot of concerns I think we need to discuss before it happens. We still gotta live back there too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Your name, please?
Sherry Scarberry.
Sherry.
Yes,
Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you
Yes.
God. Thank you.
And your address, please?
that's 309 Magosa Court. Our property butts right up to that property that's in question. One point in time, about 5 years ago, or maybe more than that, I put a bid in on that property for $50,000 to the people that had it up for sale. I got it. Then Mr. Wendell, he was the one got informed of it, not through me, but through the realtor, that I was going to purchase it for $50,000. So he took it upon himself to get in touch with me and try to work out a deal. That he would go ahead and pay for it, $50,000. He wanted to build all kinds of homes. There's, I believe, 17 lots that are on that property. I myself was not interested in putting homes on it. I wanted it to stay the way it was, you know, because I felt that the people in the back, you know, they're gonna deal with a lot if this goes the way that these contractors want. We drew up paperwork on the lot that comes closest to my property there. There was 3 lots involved. And I told him that I'd give him $10,000 for those 3 lots if he thought that that was appropriate. Well, we got together, drew up the paperwork, and that's as far as I heard from him. He didn't come back to me wanting to do anything. He said he was having issues with zoning. That's fine, that's understandable. But I was really hoping You know, maybe later on, somebody might buy it for a school or a grocery store. We keep getting all these homes in, which is fine for progress, you know, that's fine. Means more tax money, I understand that. But where it's located, to me, a store would be much easier, or a school. You know, these kids, that's all I hear from my neighbors, you know, how long it takes them to go to school. You know, I just wanted it to be the way it was, you know, keep it nature. But no, you get these contractors in there with big ideas that they're gonna build $30,000 home, you know, or $300,000 homes, or then some, you know. But I just don't feel that that would be right for that property, you know. Not to mention the people in the back. My goodness, they've already gone through heck and high water when they put those houses in directly behind me, you know. But I'm not in favor of any homes being built in there. Just let nature have it, you know, and fix that road mainly for that driveway for those people in the back, you know. You know, I mean, get us a grocery store, you know, getting all these people in town. Everybody commutes back and forth, you know, Columbus and therefore anywhere else for that matter, you know. But I was deeply hurt when I couldn't go through with the plans that I wanted to go through. And I got swindled out of it, basically, you know, and I'm hurt. So I'm not in favor of any building back there, you know, because, you know, they'll come in just butts right up to me, right? Because I'm in the cul-de-sac, and I'm right on that far corner, and the property is right there, you know. And that's why I wanted to keep those lots for the people that are involved with that too, my neighbor, you know, as well as me. And now this lady that moved in directly behind me, you know, she's worried about it as well, you know. And I said, well, if nobody buys it, I'd be happy,
Okay,
you know.
thank you.
I don't think we have we didn't have an applicant here. I'm concerned, do you know about notification?
He was notified, but I reminded him today.
Wow, okay. All right, well, having no applicant here, we're gonna close this portion of the public hearing,
Okay,
okay? Can you tell Courtney the time, please?
7:28.
So we close that portion of the public hearing. Planning staff will remind you that previously, the way it's zoned now, it still can be built, single-family homes. The request is to change the density and the lot sizes. So it still could have family homes the way it is now. It would have to be replatted. I want to remind you that plat is expired. Okay, so if someone wanted to do it essentially as it kind of is laid out now, it would have to be redone. It would not be able, council would have to approve it. Okay, so it couldn't just arbitrarily be built on. So planning wanted to remind you that. The other thing I want to remind you of is anytime that we replat anything, there's a tremendous amount of engineering that has to be involved and oversight. So you just don't make assumptions and things of that nature about stormwater calculations, runoff, or water supply, communication cables, all that. So at this time, with the public portion hearing being closed, you still have a third reading, correct? Okay, so I would conduct your third reading and then take it from there.
This is an ordinance for the rezoning of lots 1 through 17 in the Ray Adams subdivision for an R1 to an R3. This is the third reading.
Next thing you'll want to do is entertain a motion, okay, in the positive, and then a second to get it to deliberation and or vote. Obviously, if you don't entertain a second, then the motion doesn't make it to deliberation, it dies.
Sarah first.
To deliberate?
So no motion?
Motion to deliberate?
Motion is the motion to deliberate or just to?
The motion would be to approve.
Just deli-
To approve.
The motion's always in the
Oh.
positive to approve, okay?
Oh,
It does not affect your vote. It simply is to get the motion to second, so you can discuss it.
Oh, so if we vote now, it's just to discuss it?
No,
No.
no,
It's moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
it's-
correct. Your motion to approve is so you can deliberate and vote. You don't make a motion, the case, it dies.
Okay.
So the motion is, as Courtney read, do you want to read it one more time, please?
This is an ordinance for the rezoning of lots 1 through 17 and the Ray Adams subdivision for an R1 to an R3.
I'll make that a motion then.
I'll second. Let Ross have it.
And any deliberation, I would assume we, no?
So,
We'll
well,
vote.
now
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 you
it's under
deliberate.
open discussion.
Yep. Any comments?
So,
From council?
just to reiterate what Tom had said, the property is already zoned residential. This is strictly to change it from an R1 to an R3, which reduces the size of the lots. And that's all that this hearing is in regards to. Correct? Okay. This has also already been to planning, and the group have discussed it.
We sent it on to council.
And so just a little more clarification, Tom, on the things that you said about, you know, the extra sewer lines and the power lines and all that that have to be run. That's something completely different that will be dealt with when, if and when this begins to be built.
You're correct. So
Okay.
if the rezoning of the lots in question were approved, then the platted subdivision would have to come back for approval again. Yes.
And that's where we could raise a lot of these concerns, or they would be addressed, at least.
I want to speak up to here for the citizens. I know we need a grocery store in this town bad and everything, and to me, I'm glad they came out and it turned out and about their homes and stuff and their concerns. And that's why we're here for their concerns for the village. And we have a lot of situations. When I heard that one gentleman, his wife explain about their trespassing and stuff, that'd be a concern for me too on something like that, somebody on your property. And so it's a very big decision tonight, and I appreciate all you citizens coming out to voice your concerns.
This isn't the end all, there's more discussion that will be had going on if things are approved.
There'll be discussion and votes. The platted subdivision will have to be approved before
Right.
it can go forward.
So it's not, tomorrow, we're not starting a
Right.
new building or anything.
No,
But-
no, a long way from there.
Right.
But I'd like to address it as well, please. David, I appreciate your comments, and I am also glad to see so many people turn out for this. One thing I would like to say is, in the past, regarding a grocery store, the feedback that I get on it is we need to be a village of a population of 5,000 to effectively get a chain store. Now, that doesn't speak to the little grocery stores, I guess you would call them like a mom and pop store. I don't know, I didn't research those. But I want you to know that council is always actively entertaining new businesses to come into Mount Sterling. And we do promote that, as well as we promote residential growth. So that being said, and as far as the school goes, I appreciate your comments in regards to the school. But again, council cannot address that. That is something that you address at the voting box. There's a school levy coming on, and they have publicized meetings for our residents to attend, and that's where I would encourage you to take those comments to. Not that we don't want to hear them. We agree with you. We would love to have a school and a grocery store here.
So we appreciate all of your comments. But this is just another step in the process to get on board with the engineering part, if I'm not mistaken. Then the engineering part will come in and nothing moves forward until it comes to council, if I'm hearing you right.
Correct.
So every step of the way, we would invite you to continue coming to meetings, continue letting us help you work through these issues, especially when it comes to the streets and the sewage with the water situations and the drainage. These are very near and dear to all of our hearts. And we want to make sure that everything is working properly. The issue that we've had in the village, I believe, is maintenance. And we want to make sure we stay on top of these issues for you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll vote then. Roll call, please.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
No.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Your meeting.
Okay, nothing else from you?
Nothing else from me.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. We really appreciate it. That takes us to department reports. We'll start with the Sheriff Department.
All right. If you notice, you got 2 nature reports this time, because I wasn't here the last meeting. Matt was on vacation anyway, so he couldn't get me the copy of it. So I went ahead and printed it out. If you look at it, there not much went on. The next one, the one that's on top, is the last 2 weeks. So that's the recent one. Does anybody have any questions on any of those?
No, Jackie explained about the shots fired. You guys got to report immediately. If it even sounds like a shot, you got to report it, right?
Right. I mean, if you're a citizen and you hear something that you think sounds like a gunshot, you call us. And that's what it's put out as. So it'll appear on here, gunshots.
What is traffic stop HIDTA?
That's the drug interdiction that took place.
Okay.
You saw all the,
Okay,
and those are just our office stops.
okay.
There were, I guess, 5 other departments with us, so
Okay.
multiply that times 5, and that's how many traffic stops were made, and that doesn't mean drugs were taken, but that means they were looking.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Is the difference in a traffic stop and an offense is one got a ticket? Is that?
No, traffic offense is if you're following somebody and you call in, hey, I'm behind a drunk driver. So that's what they classify that as unless we stop it. So a traffic offense means somebody's coming into town, reckless hop or whatever.
Any other questions?
And then if there's no other questions, I got Saturday, this Saturday is our prescription drug take back. If you have any unused prescription medicine that you want to get rid of, 10 to 2 Saturday, bring it to the sheriff's office. You don't even have to get out of your car. We'll grab it out of your car for you and we'll take care of it.
Just round back? like-
Yeah, just pull right in the alley and the deputy will be right there and get them out of your car for you.
Jack, that is a real good program. It takes a lot of stuff that could get on the streets that some kid or some could actually get it accidental.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't do better in London in April, so let's try to do better here. And then, last thing I have is, 31st, we got trick-or-treaters that's gonna be out and about. This weekend, we got festivities on the street up by the bank. Just wanna remind everybody to drive carefully, watch for pedestrians, because if the street thing turns out anything like it has, it's gonna be packed. So just be careful and watch for the kids. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Law director report, do you have anything? I do not. Not that you're the law director, but I mean, you know. Anybody else heard from him? I don't know. Village administrator, Mr. Vern?
He's a walking computer.
Mayor Darlington, members of council, at this time, I do not have a report for you, but I will answer any questions that you might have.
I just want to thank you and your staff for all of your hard work on getting a lot of the leaky issues, if you will, cleaned up the last couple of weeks.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you very much.
Very much.
Speaking of leaky issues, leaky, but, how long do you think High Street's gonna be torn up? I know we had a new water line put in for a resident today. Do you think it'll be paved over here pretty soon, or?
It should be paved as of tonight,
Okay, there we go.
Wonderful.
and if not, there'll be gravel there so they can
Yeah.
drive over. It's
Okay.
not a problem, so,
All right, good deal.
yeah.
Hey, Tom, also appreciate what you guys did with the patch machine this summer. At least it's got to start on these potholes until one day something can happen where we can get streets, but it's doing the job, and especially on Chestnut Street. Made a big difference.
I'll let the guys know that you, that all of you said thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Zoning building, Mr. Hale? Do you have anything? You're on our agenda for.
You're always on our agenda.
Well, Christie, yes, oh, where'd she go? There she is. Oh, Christie, would you like to speak?
I would have to divert from me to her. She knows more than I do.
Apologies. Do you have anything for us this evening?
I do not. We've been very busy processing. And we've got our software. So we've got the public portal going, which is going very well. And we'll be making some changes after the first of the year with our software again.
We're going to new software. We're taking our new software and
Upgrading
disposing of it, going to new software.
So for the public's benefit, there's a little bit of self-service you can do now, correct, with the
Yes.
portal?
Yes.
So you don't necessarily have to run down and see Christie.
That's
You
right.
can actually file it online at this
That's
point.
right, and
So,
that's
yeah, go
really
Mount,
been
Mount
huge.
Sterling, that's right.
That's been going really well.
And I don't know if that's on the website or not. That might be beneficial if we could
Okay.
get that on the website
All
for
right.
that direction. Maybe a link.
Yep. We like that, we like self-service.
Okay, thank you. Fiscal officer reports. Ms. Bricker.
That would be me. Okay, so I didn't receive any questions, concerns, comments, or anything on the financials that were sent out to you. You guys have in front of you your bank reconciliation report here for the month of October. Again, there were no adjusting factors. There were adjustments made. There were a couple NSF checks that were accepted at the water department. So those are getting worked out by the water clerk. Again, everything is balanced to the penny, nothing more, nothing less, like I always say. The only report that I have is, please look forward to the website on the work session for budget for the 2024. So council will be having a work session. I haven't ironed out the date and time yet, but for the public's knowledge, it will be posted to our website. So be looking forward to that. With that said, I don't have any other comments or concerns or questions unless council does. I would ask for a motion for the approval of the appropriation status report, the revenue status report, the receipt listing report, the payment listing report, the comparison of budget and appropriated report, cash summary by fund report, the RIA reports, as well as the bank reconciliation for October of 2023.
Is there a motion?
You have that motion?
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay.
That was Joyceville.
Roll call, please.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Thank you. That takes us to committee reports. Finance, Andy.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few comments on the finance piece here this week. As a committee, we have not met since our last meeting, but as Courtney has just said, we are lining up, hopefully for about the first week in November, a finance work session, which will of course be open to the public and hopefully on YouTube like this one is, so we can be as open as we can with it. how the budget's put together, how it works, what's the priorities. And also, there'll be a few other items that will sneak in there as well that we have to get done before the end of the year. There's a number of big contracts that are coming up. So all that's going to be out in the lobby. I invite everybody to go take a look at it. When we get copies printed off, it's going to be out there next to some stuff that's already out there right now. I've asked Tom and your other council members in front of you tonight to come into that work session and be very, very, very focused with what they would like to do with 2024. Look, these are pocketbook issues for a lot of people. These are your tax dollars. We have to spend them right. And so we have to ask seriously, what do we honestly expect to spend or need to spend next year? And if so, where does that all slot in? Can we prioritize that? Maybe even ask the crazy question, do we need to spend it all? And if not, what do we want to save up for? Maybe paving a new street would immediately come to mind in my mind. Although there is some drainage, obviously. But that, that's just me, just a couple things off the top of my head. I do think it's important to be clear about what we're doing to fix existing infrastructure, and we got to do what every other village does, which is also plan for preventative maintenance. And Mr. Burns is going to bring us some numbers on that so we can head off problems before they happen. That's kind of the point, right? We know there's work needs to be done on the water system, the sewer system. We got to replace a worn out piece of equipment like our tractor or our street sweeper. Or maybe we just need to fix others. But all that has to be slotted into priorities. We got to figure out where it goes and how much money gets put behind each one of them. So let's take a page from our capital improvement plan to see what issues we can head off now. Finally, I've always had sort of the base working idea here that these budgets, we can build off of them. They're like foundations. They allow you to think a little bit creatively. When you're coming back from so far down like we are, you get an opportunity to think creatively, and we ought to build off of it. Me personally, I look around at what other villages are doing, maybe like, I don't know, Asheville or South Bloomfield. I'm not talking about, the Dublins or the Powells or whatever. I'm talking about villages that are right next door. What are they doing? And should we be planning for that too? I think we should. I think there's a lot of stuff that they're doing that we're not, including things that, people brought up tonight, which is a little bit around commuters who live here but work in Columbus. Is there something we can do on their taxes there? Because a lot of other places have reciprocity. How would that affect us? I don't know. We need to dig into stuff like that. That's important because it brings people here, it brings families here. And we should have the goal to basically use this budget to make this town as family-friendly and as business-friendly as we absolutely can. So, summing all up, it's going to be a good work session. I'm optimistic. I think we're going to get stuff done. Our next regular finance meeting is going to be November the 1st at 2:30 p.m. Courtney's going to publish when our work session is. We're going to get that on the website. Hopefully it'll be somewhere right around in there. And those are all the comments I have for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Pleasant Township, David.
I do not have no meeting with the trustees until November.
Okay, Squad, Joyce.
I do not have an update other than the bills were paid. There's not a whole lot going on right now. We'll meet again on the second Wednesday of November. Excuse me.
Thank you. Fire, Ross.
I don't have a comment. We're having a meeting this coming Thursday at 8 o'clock at the firehouse.
Water, wastewater, Joyce.
Thank you. We actually met before our council meeting at 6 o'clock. Gosh, a lot going on. We've had some hydrants that we've had to do some maintenance on. Overall, the hydrants were in really good shape. They're all in working order. A few leaks here and there, but nothing that would prohibit if the fire department had to use one of the hydrants. They are in working order, so I wanted to assure you all of that. Tom's getting some bids for us for a plan of action with a local company. So he'll have more information on that for us, hopefully next month. They've got a lot done within the village. They have 4 huge projects, a valve repair done. Over behind the mayor's house, there was a nice big project done, big project over today, done on High Street. And behind Sunoco, we had a nice project completed. So kudos to you and your guys again, Tom. We appreciate that. That's about all I have for water right now. We will meet again on November 27th at 6 o'clock.
Okay, we needed to see, there was a discussion, in regards to our worker that, our, window worker.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I would like to make that motion, if this is the time.
So the motion, to be clear here, is to allow Stacy, which is the assistant to Misty. She fills in when Misty's not available or on vacation or sick. She, I think, has got about 16 hours left according to her contract. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. So this motion is to allow her to work an additional 80 hours. This is not to exceed an additional 80 hours above her contract for the remainder of 2023.
So this is,
Yeah. I
this
got a
is,
question. Does that affect the budget, doing this?
So I can reallocate money without asking for approval. Yes.
Okay.
So no, it would not be a reappropriation.
but just for clarification, this is up to 80 hours. It might
It may
necessarily
not be any-
be much lower. Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay,
Bill?
any discussion?
I'll second.
Oh, Bill's already just.
You can
said
third.
second. Yeah.
You can discuss.
All right, roll call, please.
Joyce?
Yes.
Maggie?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
That takes us to streets. Becky?
I have nothing new to report other than our next meeting will be Monday, November the 13th at 6:30. I did want to just touch base with Mr. McKenzie, who came tonight. We appreciate your input. We did make those changes at the last council meeting. The 1.5 car lengths and the 15-minute parking spot, those were approved at the last council meeting. And then I guess right now, maybe we need to discuss it a little further. So I would like to table that issue for now, as far as we were considering changing things tonight, but we need to weigh everything out. So,
Do you need does she need a second?
Yeah, so if
I'll,
you're gonna-
I'm sorry, I would,
So are you gonna table it and take it to a committee meeting?
yeah, we'll take it to the streets meeting again. We'll, Tom and I might go out there and look and see what it looks like and take it to a streets meeting and make sure it's what we want, the way it's
Yeah.
written.
So we've got
Yep.
Becky and Andy.
absolutely.
So will this be streets and safety working together on it, or are we just gonna
You
take
would
it?
not be able to do that.
You
You
can't do
don't
that?
necessarily have to.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it first, but it could lie on
That's
either
where it
one
came
of us.
from then, safety.
Yeah.
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 Safety
Yeah.
original.
Okay.
So do you want, which one, so that I can prepare him when he needs to?
Well, she was let her have it.
Yeah, the main thing is there's an opportunity and someone goes out and paces it, right? I mean, that's the whole point. So
Yeah.
as long as it gets back to a committee, we can work it however you
Yeah,
like.
we
I would say probably we need to get with Jack too and see what kind of issues they
See
come
what
across.
he
in that
thinks.
corner, but-
That's exactly right.
Yeah, Jack, you can
You'll
pace
take
it
this
for
to a
us.
street committee?
Yeah.
All right, so we got a
Yeah.
first and a second. Is there any more discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Okay, David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
So just for your benefit as well, is that, nothing will be constructed out here, just to let you know, 'cause, no.
I know you guys didn't back here. I don't wanna mess up John. We work with John. And so I would suggest you to maybe get with John and have him a part of that.
Yeah, I think all
We
public-
agree.
We can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
There's some more ideas that hit me in the head here, not that they're great, but if we just have an opportunity, just, hey, let's talk about it. Parking's a premium. If
Yeah.
there's no parking, then hardly the town.
Yeah, everybody,
Right.
all parties will be involved.
Right.
Yeah, so.
We
but
agree.
Anyway, yeah, just.
Well, the meetings are public as well.
Yeah,
So,
I would
yeah.
invite you to come out on November the 13th at 6:30 to the streets meeting. Yes. And we could invite John as well. And Jack, we can invite Jack to give us his input. And Who else would like to be invited? Anybody can.
I guess it goes without saying,
But-
you can come to any committee meeting just the same as you can come in here.
Right.
And we highly recommend it.
We'd love to have you at our meetings.
Yeah.
So,
We'd love your input.
other than that, I have nothing for streets.
All right.
Moving right along.
Parks and Rec then, Becky.
Okay. I do have some updates for Parks and Rec. We just held a softball tournament. It was a fast pitch tournament, and it was for young ladies from the age 10 to 16. And we ended up having 22 teams. And I want to say right off the top, we need more parking lot out there. There were people parking everywhere at Mason Park. I mean, places they shouldn't have been. And it had rained a lot, but luckily nothing got tore up or anything. But we seriously need to consider. Now, you know, but I want to say what the benefits of having a big event like this was. The Youth League was there. Kathy Carson and all the Youth League, they had the opportunity to do concessions, and they probably had their biggest fundraiser ever for just those 2 days.
She was in the office today, and
Yeah.
she said that will greatly lessen their.
The burden
efforts
for the children. I mean, it'll be great. And then, as the Park and Rec Committee, we have no revenue that comes in regularly. So all of our revenue is made through donations and fundraisers. So this was a fundraiser for us, and it was a fundraiser for the generals who put on the tournament, and I'm sure they made quite a bit of money, but they did collect parking for the weekend, and we got half of it, and had to do relatively little. Jeff did work really hard out there, doing the fields and stuff and emptying trash, but we got $1,120 as the parks, for just those 2 days. And so, and they've already said, they absolutely love our park. They want to do, they did 2 this year there. Next year they want to add a 4th of July tournament as well. So, and then the word gets out to all those other teams. So we have the opportunity to do some nice fundraising out there to enhance the park. So I do want to make a motion to accept that $1,120.
To only be spent to the Parks and Recs fund, to be expended and accepted as revenue.
So there's a first from Becky. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, David?
David will second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Okay. And another event that is going to be happening out at the park is Trunk or Treat this Friday. So it's just in a few days. So I know I just looked up the flyer again to make sure I had my times right and everything, but they said they are still in need of trunkers, meaning, people to pull up and give out candy. They'd like to kind of have a head count on how many cars are going to come do that. So if you or anyone want to participate in that, I'd say reach out to the Youth League and let them know that you want to do that. There is a costume contest that night, and the kids will be getting trophies for those, and there's also like a best decorated car. So
What were the hours?
the hours on the flyer are listed 5 to 8, but Kathy told me it'd probably be more like 5 to 7:30. And there will be a concession stand out there, but and the costume contest, but there will not be a movie being shown out there like originally was planned. It's just a little bit too cold. And let's see here. Should I mention the haunted house now? It was kind of streets, and I kind of forgot. I just need to make sure on the haunted house. I called Courtney last week because I had a gentleman reach out to me about the haunted house, Tim Corbin, who is Tom Corbin's son. Usually Tom comes before us and asks for the specific time and things. And I know I mentioned it this year that would be one of the events, but I didn't know the exact time. And Tom had not made it out to a council meeting. So I just needed to confirm, make sure council knows and is okay with it, that the streets get shut down Thursday evening so they can set everything up on the streets. And it's only going to be from the Church of Christ and Christian Union to Wraps. It's not going to be, 62, but it's just going to be that. Yeah, it's not like Summer Jam or the street market. So, and then their last go round in the haunted house is Sunday, and it's only a 2-hour stint, and they need just a couple of hours after that to tear down and get everything off the street. So I guess I'm going to request that it be known or allowed that they can set up Thursday evening.
Yeah, so the motion was taken in January.
Okay, but did it have the times, or
It didn't have the times.
is that important, or do I just need to make sure of that with Tom?
We had it from Thursday to Sunday is what the motion.
My only concern, or I would say a point of question, would be, what about Sunday morning? So we have, obviously, worshipers downtown during that time, and what's the provisions being currently made for them? I mean, I moved signs in previous years, which is fine, I can do it again, it's not a big deal, but, candidly, they have a lot of parking needs, let's just be honest. So what's being done to accommodate them?
Well, what is being done is that sign, the sign's only down that far, so no one starts down that road. They don't actually take up much more space past Chase Bank or so as far as their setup. So, I'd be more than happy to make sure that they know maybe Sunday or Saturday night to just move those signs on down to where they're not in front of the church. You just don't want anyone that's not familiar with town to pull all the way up and then be like having to back up and go up Church Street. Is that Church Street?
Yep.
And I think the church is aware. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
I've made the church aware, and usually Mick has volunteered, I know last year and the year before, to go out. We move the signs.
Yeah,
We just move them.
that's real
And
easy.
the church, and he stands out there until church starts and lets the church know that we can still park there. So, yeah. Are you willing to do that again this year, Mr. Phillips, sir? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
He's drafted.
And so, okay, the only other thing I would want to make sure that the no parking signs get up Wednesday, at least 24 hours, so they know that little section there, those apartments and things can't park right there for those couple of days. And that's,
And you've talked to ODOT, they know?
it's a town issue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a village issue, I should say. And that's it. Okay, so as far as the next Park and Rec meeting, it will be November the 13th at 6 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. Record of retention, Mr. Drake.
Yeah, we haven't met since our October 6th meeting, and our next planned event is Be There, Be Square, November the 3rd at 8 a.m.
Oh, and so I was asked to pass along from Misty, a little thumbs up to Mr. Hicks.
Yes.
For all his extra work that he does.
So,
when
so in
spraying.
case anyone is wondering who the Shredder Fairy is, that would be our neighbor Craig Hicks. And thanks to him for doing all of that. And he does an awesome job, and he doesn't have to. He does it on his own time and just because he likes to volunteer. So thank you very, very much for that.
Yeah, I think I've actually coming out of that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what doesn't go to the Historical Society, we'll shred.
We appreciate it very much. All right, thank you, Becky, or Andy. Nuisance and abatement, are you gonna be okay, Joyce?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're up, so.
Nuisance and abatement, yes, we met at, this evening at 5 o'clock. We had, a little, not really a community cleanup day, but on Saturday, the 14th, some of the guys went out, Tom, and I know Andy was there, and Bill and David were there, and Craig, and, anyway, we had a crew out there for 3 hours, and we had 3 people show up. So, not a bad thing. That's a good thing for them. But, so we're going to take a look at what we can do better next year, because we always want to make sure that we have availability for people that work to drop off their unwanted items. So we had kind of a wrap-up session, if you will, I wanted to talk to council, or to the committee about, what we've done good in the last year, what we could improve upon. We're anxious to get with the Nazarene Church. I will be reaching out to whoever's the committee for next year. I'll work with them on working with the Nazarene Church, and we'll go through some things. I'll pass off some information if need be. And, we'll get that spring cleanup going hard and heavy, and, excuse me, get the town in good shape again. Other than that, I don't really have any outstanding nuisance items. Everything looks pretty good. We will be meeting again on November the 27th at 5 o'clock. And the only thing I can say is if the snow flies early, make sure you shovel your own walks, salt them, whatever you do, and make it safe for everyone, because we do still have walkers in the village in the winter.
Lots of walkers.
Just
We
ask
do.
Mr. Phillips. He will tell you.
I walk in the street, it's safer.
You walk
So
in the
do I.
street, it's safer, but we still want to make sure we're maintaining our sidewalks. So if nobody has anything else in regards to nuisance, I will yield my time.
All right, thank you. Safety Block Watch, Bill.
I've already reported when we had our meeting. Our next meeting actually is due to be on November 7th, but I think we probably need to postpone that at least to a later date, and at least postpone it, maybe cancel it for this month. I'll be talking to Andy and see what he thinks. And I can clarify, I walk in the street, it's safer. Yes, some of the sidewalks are really a mess, but I walk in the street because a dog's got to come further out after me. And I got more of a chance to react, so.
Okay,
Now, I've had to do that several
good
times.
to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, planning, Andy?
Yeah, we have not met since our last go-around, so we will meet the fourth Tuesday of the month. That would be November the 28th. That's our next scheduled one, unless there's some reason why we would need to meet before then. But that's the next scheduled one. Hard to believe that's all the way out, but yeah, November the 28th at 6 p.m.
Zoning, Becky.
We have nothing at this time.
Tree Beautification Committee, Becky.
Yes, we did have another, we had a meeting, and we decided that we wanted to try to do a little project for the community this year. It's kind of late notice, but we want to take a little bit of our funds and buy some of those great big giant leaf bags. And we want to meet out here on Town Hall lawn on Monday, November the 6th. Okay. And we want to hand those out to residents and take down names and numbers. And if you take a bag, then a week later, we're going to come and pick up your bags. So that's our little plan. And then we're going to take it up to the garage, and Tom, we're going to start a compost pile up there. And that's going to work some future projects that we have in mind for the Tree and Beautification Committee next spring. So we're going to get that compost pile started with everybody's leaves. So we're going to ask, I'm going to ask that the council approves this little event here in just a second. And we're going to ask the residents to participate. We would, absolutely love for you to participate, and just remember to put them all in the bags and try to keep them out of the streets. It's really hard when the wind's blowing and everything like that, but it just leads to more trouble if they get in the storm drains and all that. So that's one of the things we wanted to do. So like Courtney just said, she has a motion to read.
Okay, so this is a motion to allow the tree committee to hold a leaf bag giveaway on November the 6th from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on Town Hall lawn. On November the 13th, the village employees will be picking up bagged leaves and taking them to the service garage to dispose and to create a compost pile.
So can we have a motion?
Well, I'll do the motion.
Okay, is there a
I'll second it.
All right,
Becky, Bill? Yep.
roll call, please.
Okay. Phil?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you for those committee reports.
Great.
Are we finished?
Yeah, well, our next meeting will be the second Thursday of November, the 9th, at this time at 1 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. That takes us to ordinances and resolutions. Ms. Brooker?
Okay, again, this is an ordinance, so I think council went through their first hearing, with Tom's lead, as well as Christie's. This is gonna be one of the same kind of hearing. I will recite this ordinance. It will only be read out loud as the first reading. There will be no discussion. There'll be no questions given to Tom nor Christie. But this is just to be read with no vote taken, okay?
Yes.
So this is ordinance 2023-10, an ordinance for the rezoning of the property located at 15015 US Highway 62 Southeast for an R1 to a OIP district.
Thank you. Long meeting, especially compared to our last one.
Yeah.
So that takes us to a roundtable. Does anybody have anything for roundtable this
Oh,
evening?
round table night. First, I want to reach out. I'm glad to see citizens turn out to meetings. That's what a democracy is for, give them the freedom of speech, give them the right to say what they think. And I'm glad to hear that. We've been needing that here for a long time. And I appreciate all you people turning out. Because that's what your freedom for, and that's what we fought for. So I'm glad to hear that. Also, on November 11th at Town Square, the Post 4117 will be honoring our veterans with Veterans Day. And I'd like to have, if you're a veteran, if you want to come there, 10:30, you can set up in the honor guard and be able to fire the rifles with us. And the citizens want to turn out. Also, I want to bring up on Halloween, the Nazarene Church is having their Harvest Fest. There'll be a trunk or treat. They're going to have the gym open. Bobbing for apples, a lot of the old Halloween things. If I bob for apples, I'd probably drown, but the point of it is it's going to be old-fashioned Halloween and a safe thing for the kids. And I heard Becky talk about the haunted house. And last year I heard more people say for our small village, they've been to bigger ones, but they said they got scared so good in that one. So I appreciate it for Halloween and what we do for that.
Is that October the 31st? Is there a time?
Yeah, same time as Trick or Treat.
Oh, okay.
And they'll be giving out bags of candy, and they'll be watching for the kids with the best costume. It's going to open up the whole gym. They'll have a good time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Me. I just want to thank again, kind of put my Chamber of Commerce hat on real quick. This past weekend, there was a holiday craft show and a shop hop. The community center did an amazing job, and everyone that helped put that together. I mean, the cars were all the way out to the streets. It was so packed. And then the shop hop as well. The shops were bustling, and I was just looking around with one of my girlfriends, and I said, isn't it nice to just to see downtown Mount Sterling, like everyone running around in and out of shops and stuff. It was really nice, and appreciate all the work that everyone did to for that. And also during that, another good cause. I know Marcy had the food drive going here, but at the community center as well, they encouraged all those people shopping to bring canned goods. And I know our community center pantry really appreciated both of those efforts. And one of the last things I wanted to say was November the 9th at 6 o'clock at the community center is a chamber member appreciation dinner, and that is for current chamber members and any businesses that want to consider being a chamber member. And that is in the back room at the community center. It'll be a dinner, and there'll be a speaker from Madison County Chamber of Commerce will speak for a few minutes, and as well as our own chamber. It'll give you opportunity to volunteer for events that we're putting on, including the upcoming Thanksgiving for the community. We'll be doing that again at the American Legion. So I would like to encourage anyone who's interested in the Chamber of Commerce to come out on November the 9th and join us for that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just wanted to talk a little bit, just a few brief words about the upcoming election. And what I'm talking about is State Issue 1 and State Issue 2. State Issue 1 this coming November is not the same Issue 1 that we had in August. Issue 1 and Issue 2, one's about legalizing marijuana, that's Issue 2. The other one's about legalizing abortion in all forms, that's Issue 1. But I'm not going to tell anybody what they need to vote. But what I'm going to say is get online and read the issue. Don't listen to what people are telling you. I've heard some deliberate misinformation, especially about issue 1, but people read that before you vote.
VoteOhio.gov.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And also, I think there was an insert in the messenger, wasn't there too? So look for your messenger.
Yeah, there was an answer I saw.
The whole text of everything is right there. So if you don't want to, use the computer, which is fine, no problem. There's plenty of messengers out front, of every business downtown. You can go grab one. So
Don't take my word, don't take anybody's
I highly
word.
encourage you to go take a look.
Read
at
it for
what's actually
yourself.
there. Yeah.
So Becky alluded to the food pantry collection of goods, and this is the second year that we've done Mayor Challenge across Madison County. I didn't get any numbers yet because a few of them I think are still doing it collection today, but last week was National Food Pantry Week, so hopefully this will continue after I'm gone, or maybe I can help out and assist with it in the future. Last year, I meant to bring ours out. I think we had 349 objects, whether be it canned food, Chili Magic, whatever, and then we had, I think, $149 cash donation. This year, we had 522 things brought in and $232 in cash. So we probably not quite doubled, but close to it. And the dollars will go a very, very long way. If you want to contribute to the food pantry, you can do that with an automatic withdrawal from your checking account. That's what I do. I do $10 a month that goes straight to them. Easy peasy. I don't really see it, so it's not like I have to go, oh my gosh, no lunch for me this week, And they have grown so much. The need for food in our community is great. So please consider that, especially during this time. I think I said at the last meeting that they are having a hard time for mashed potatoes. So if you come across the sale out boxes of mashed potatoes, please hook them up. They're looking for between 400 and 500 boxes to get through Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we all know we got to have our taters on those days. So thank you all for the long meeting and enduring. Thank you again, our guests, for coming and speaking. And we hope to see you back here again soon. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
3 hours
I make
of
10
writing.
pounds. Yep, you betcha.
That's rough, can imagine 10 pounds for 10.
I mash them. I've tried to do the fake ones before. It don't work with our boys. Nope.
Gotta be real.
Time in the next 2 months.
Not at all. Good to see you, Christy.
Then you can always come and see me in my non-official capacity. We can hammer time on a night away.